Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Your Pleasure. Today, I want to talk about masturbation as a form of self love. It is something that we do from infancy all through our lives. It is something that has had aspersions cast on it as if there's something wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. If God did not want us to touch our genitals, they would be in an unreachable place. But as it is, they're very, very handy. And if you cannot love yourself, who the heck can you love? So masturbation starts at a very, very young age. And parents have to teach their children that if they're going to touch themselves, it has to be in a private place, of course, because this is a sexual world and we don't want to give off the wrong message. But as young as, say, 13, 14 years old, when our sexual life is just in its beginning stages, just budding, it is really important that teenagers masturbate. It's very important for women and for young men to know how to satisfy themselves, to learn how to love themselves, to be comfortable with their genitals. And if they're not comfortable with their genitals, that is going to lead to a lifetime of frustration and shame and anger and all kinds of angst. Because you really have to love your body, you have to appreciate your body, you have to know its potential, and you have to be comfortable in it and within it. So masturbation is a real part of that. And it has gotten a bad reputation or a bad rap throughout the ages. And I'm sure that there was reasons why the church cast aspersions on masturbation. I don't want to get into that. But the bottom line is, it is not sinful, it is not dirty, it is not wrong, and it is a necessary tool and practice to learn how to do for yourself so that you can maintain a balance in your life and a sexual appreciation and satisfaction. So in the teenage years, masturbation is a really good way to keep your horns from getting out of control. Like, youngins don't even seem to realize that their sexual appetite is growing. They feel frustrated, they feel tired, they feel angst, they feel nervous, they feel all kinds of feelings that they've never felt before. And a lot of that is because of the sexual tension that is going on in their body. Well, if they would take a few minutes a day, 10, 15 minutes a day, just to love themselves, just to rub themselves from the top down, just to be in touch, and not to think that, well, it's okay if I touch my arm, but if I touch my genitals, then that's sinful. That's crazy. Your arms, your neck, your hair, your face, your body, it's all yours. And you should be able to touch it without any kind of shame. So in those formative years, you learn how to touch yourself in a way that is very, very pleasurable to you. And this is the experience where you teach yourself how to have an orgasm. And then once you learn how to have an orgasm, you can actually teach a deserving partner when they come along into your life. Now, when a person gets into their 20s or so, masturbation becomes super essential, because now your sexual appetite is at its peak and you are looking for a date. You are looking for satisfaction. You are looking to get your horns taken care of. And if you are not sexually satisfying yourself on a regular basis with masturbation, you're going to make some very bad decisions. You're going to look at other people through rose-colored glasses, and you're going to make up in your mind that they are a whole lot better and a whole lot different and much like exactly what it is that you want, even though they're not. And the reason that you'll do that is because of your horniness. So rather than go out into the world at a disadvantage, isn't it better to take care of yourself so that when you meet people, it is not through desperate eyes, through frustrated eyes, through needy eyes, that you look at them, but rather look at them through a more calm perspective, because you have taken care of your body and you have taken care of your horns. And that's a really important thing to know. There's nothing wrong with touching yourself. There's nothing wrong with bringing yourself to an orgasm. Now, in your 30s, a lot of people are married in their 30s. And so they think that masturbation maybe shouldn't take place. You know, you've got a partner, they should do you, you should do them. Okay, well and good. Having an intimate relationship is really preferable, especially if both partners are in it to please each other. But masturbation becomes essential when you are in a relationship, because you do not want to put all the pressure on your partner for your sexual satisfaction. Sometimes, you know, maybe their diet isn't right. Maybe the pressure of their work is beating them down. Maybe they just haven't had enough sleep. There's a lot of factors that come into whether a person has a sexual appetite or how big their sexual appetite is. So if your appetite is screaming, I need to be taken care of, feed me, then feed yourself. Absolutely, feed yourself. Take the pressure off of the relationship. Also, while you're doing that, you're also showing your partner how it is that you like to be touched. If you want to invite them to the show, why not? Then this way it's a learning experience for them as well. Thank you, Dana. You're such a sweetheart. Then say you reach your 40s now, and maybe marriage hasn't gone quite the way that you wanted it to. So you're out of that relationship and you find that you are in the dating market once again. Well, it's not a good idea to be in the dating market if you're horny all the time. So it's a really good idea to take care of your own sexual needs before you go out into the world, so that you are looking at each person through calm perspective, through satisfied perspective, and you're really listening to what that person is saying, not listening to them through the filter of, God, I'm so horny and I just want to do this person and I don't care. Because then you can end up with all kinds of problems. And sex is not supposed to be about problems. Sexual fun is supposed to be about releasing endorphins, releasing pleasure, releasing oxytocin, releasing all the joy, seeing a light exploding inside, relaxation, afterglow. And that's what sex is supposed to be. But if you're looking at a person and kind of hoping that they are going to be what you want them to be because you're so horny, you can't see straight, that's not a good thing. It's a good idea to take care of your horns before you go out into the dating world, so that you're much easier on yourself and in looking for a partner and being open to finding a partner. In 50s and 60s, it becomes super important for women in particular to masturbate. And the reason I say that is because the sexual appetite decreases after menopause for many women, not for all, but for many women. So it's a really good idea to keep your stuff moving along. Keep yourself sexually satisfied. Keep that blood flowing into your parts, because like any other body part, you don't use it, you lose it. And especially after menopause, the walls of the vagina start getting thinner. It becomes more difficult to lubricate. It becomes more difficult to enjoy intercourse, because the body is not having it as much, and because all of your levels have gone down, and your natural moisture that you make has also decreased greatly. So if you want to stay vibrant, if you want to stay in it, so that you can have a satisfying sex life for all of your life, it is really, really important to masturbate regularly. Now, a lot of people find it difficult to even think about touching themselves. But, you know, that prejudice was thrust on society early in the beginnings, and it came down on us through religion. Now we're kind of looking at everything again, brand new understanding of the body and its needs. And if you respect yourself, if you love yourself, if you know that you deserve pleasure, and if you want to stay vibrant and sexually healthy and alive for all your life, then masturbation becomes the key. Whether you have a partner, whether you don't have a partner, whether your partner is able or unable, it's a really, really good idea to get in touch with yourself, to touch yourself all over from top to bottom, and to be okay with that, because that's the only body you get. And you don't want to look back on your life and say, I should have done this, I should have done that, I could have done this, I could have done that. Do it. Absolutely do it. You're not hurting anybody. You're only helping yourself. And by helping yourself, you make the world a better place every time you take care of yourself. I want to thank you very much for joining me this evening for this talk. I'm your host, Ellen Nicholas, sensuality consultant and life coach with Brave Thinking Institute. I hope you have enjoyed this talk on the essentials of masturbation. Use a little lubricant, do your Kegel exercises, pay attention to what your body needs, and give your body what it needs. If there's any shame, cast it aside. There should be no shame in your game. There should be no problem with touching yourself from top to bottom and everything in between, because we are not a mistake in design. We have all kinds of erogenous zones from the top of our head to the soles of our feet, genitals included. And all of them deserve to be loved, to be caressed, to be stroked, and to be appreciated. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Hopefully next week I'm going to have Meredith with me for Nia Dance. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.